Okay, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining today's webinar on addressing complex business challenges with Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse. We're really excited about this topic. This is a new area of a product offering and database architecture. And this is a great opportunity for people to analyze a lot of their database challenges, a lot of their data warehouse challenges, and address them in a kind of scalable manner using new technologies. So for today's presentation, we'll be having, let me kind of get on full screen here. We'll be having Ravi Reddy present. Ravi is president and CEO of Synera Technologies, and he founded Synera Technologies back in 2005, and really from the beginning was a born in the cloud company. He's a chief strategist as well as an author. And he's an advisor for leading entrepreneurs and business leaders across the industry. Our second speaker would be Padma Biaraju. She is a director for Insights Analytics at Synertech. She leads our BI and data visualization practice, and we'll be talking specifically about some of the features and functionalities of Autonomous. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Ravi. Ravi, you want to kind of take it from there, and I'm going to give you control, Ravi, so you can actually advance the slides, and then just control it back to me when you're able to continue. So take it away, Ravi.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Val. Folks, thanks a lot for joining the call. Let me give a quick introduction to Synera Tech. It's been a good 14 years now, a great 14 years, in fact. We now have locations across the world in 8 different locations, over 1,100 employees around the world, focused primarily in driving innovation, enabling innovation. We've authored a framework that has been very successful over last decade, which is called 3-switch framework to enable businesses to innovate. And through this last decade or so, we have built quite a few digital solutions and to ensure that the businesses who are trying to transform from physical to digital enterprise are able to transform successfully, right? So that the solutions and the platforms that we have built have significant number of best practices incorporated in it, such that the journey from physical to digital is successful. Yeah. Now, we're all about 10x thinking today. We all know that most businesses are busy with their day-to-day, stuck in their linear thinking of, hey, what can I do incrementally better? Most businesses that I advise, almost 200 customers today, and invariably, innovation that most businesses are going through are what I call linear thinking, which is incremental innovation. We believe that for businesses to really come up with a 10x thinking, what we call moonshots, you fundamentally have to be digital first. And digital first means you got to have AI powered enterprise, which I call intelligent enterprise. You have to have cloud first strategy. You have to leverage machine learning and autonomous capabilities, and leverage the new technologies like IoT and chatbots to increase the sources of the data. Yeah, digital means increase the sources of your data, not just the online OLTP data, but how do you 10x the data, right? I will just bring the context. A 10x innovation and finding moonshots also means how do you 10x your ability to gather data, whether structured, unstructured, whether OLTP or IoT. Yeah. So let's take this as a basis of how do you think, right? If Fal, could you go to the next screen, next slide?
Ravi, you should be able to click it yourself. Are you able to do that?
No.
No? Okay, then I'll go next slide. There you go.
All right. So what we are seeing, and I wanted to share some experiences as to how important is data, right? And how important is laying the strong foundation of digital enterprise to identify those disruptive opportunities. Now, here are some examples across industries. As I call them, Hobson's choices. Only you have today with hyper conversions across industries, where you have likes of Apple and likes of Google and likes of Amazon's getting into every possible industry through hyperconvergence. You only have two options. Either disrupt or get disrupted. We have seen these. Here you're seeing different companies, right from Blockbuster to Sears. You're seeing businesses that got disrupted because they were thinking linear right? They were thinking that linear incremental thinking that led to certain incremental innovation is an innovation, right? While you had Netflix of the world that came up with a moonshot that demonetized and democratized the whole new different way to watch and right through streaming. So let's now look at how do you get there? How do you lay that foundation for digital? Especially most of you who are part of IT organization who is busy. Most IT organizations we know are stuck in the day-to-days of, today when I look at 75% of IT budgets are spent in run the business, keeping the lights on. Only 25% of the dollars that IT spends is on change the business. It's very important to understand, while we all know that data is the new currency, if you want to disrupt, you've got to leverage your data effectively, whether it is, right? Data is the new currency. Most businesses are stuck on level 1 operational data, right? What I call them level 1, where you are, trying to improve the performance of reports. You're trying to cleanse the data for better quality of data to be given to your finance team or your sales team, what I call level 1. While these businesses that are disrupting, to me, are in level 3 monetization, what I call data monetization. They are not stuck in level 1. They are neither stuck in level 2. Level 2, for me, is where you're providing actionable insights from the data. Right? Today, we're going to talk about that. Padma is going to spend time on how do you use autonomous capability and machine learning capability, not just to improve the performance and the quality, but providing the lines of businesses, whether sales or marketing or finance or supply chain, providing them actionable insights. Now imagine when you can't even do that, trying to do data monetization, which is level 3 organization from a data perspective only. Now, if an organization has to do this, then you need to, but at the same time, you're stuck with only 25% of dollars left for change the business. We, having enabled so many customers in this transformation, I want to share the framework in the next slide, right? Which talks about, 3-switch framework. If you have to free up, if you have to change the pyramid from 70% run the business to 30% run the business, such that you can invest your resources and bandwidth towards these digital initiatives, the number one thing that we are doing today is leveraging the capabilities of AI and machine learning and build platforms that can automate. We talked about digital. Within digital, we talked about digital operations. You can operate enormous significant number of processes through AI and machine learning and leveraging cloud, right? So what we have done is we've built out of the box platforms like Cloud Tester is a beautiful one, right? As businesses are going into agile, as they are going into cloud, they don't have control on new patches, new releases. I'm talking to a bunch of businesses today who are saying, you know what? Hey, Ravi, we have moved into ERP cloud. We've moved our applications into, Sales Cloud, but soon to realize that we have no control on that application, and neither do we have a control on the releases that are coming in. So now my business users are spending significantly more time in doing the validation and testing of these patches that the cloud vendors are pushing it to us. Well, we've solved that problem. They expect anyone who's getting into the cloud journey, they expect you to be agile ready. So Cloud Tester does that automation. So significant number of help desks can be automated. Right? So automation, and the second step towards getting ready to get digitalized or start digital innovation is what I call cloud migration. Yeah. Here, you're becoming asset light. You're becoming asset light. It's very important to lay that foundation to drive digital innovation. If you're not asset light, not only you're decreasing your velocity of innovation, not only that you're surrounding your world around those assets that you acquire. Most of you know that. You buy a house, you buy a car, you buy something, your world surrounds around what you bought. You lose that flexibility that you always had in the past, that you could take, and today, as the innovation speed is increasing, today, where storage cost and compute cost is almost negligible, it's almost zero, where businesses all over the world, people all over the world can actually start a new idea using their credit card in less than $5,000. Innovation can come from anywhere. So it's extremely important from where we look at things is, while cloud is definitely a cost benefit, to us, I think it's an important stepping stone towards digital innovation and becoming asset light. So with that foundation, I wanted to now, have Padma take you into this journey of, if you all have this appreciation of data in 3 layers, from operational to insights to monetization, let's look at what are the challenges that you're facing today, and most businesses are facing today, and how we have addressed through autonomous data warehouse. Right? So over to you, Padma.
Thank you, Ravi. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. As Ravi mentioned, it's becoming extremely important to reduce cycle time, maintenance time, make sure that there are no glitches in data operations, day-to-day operational activities. And for all this, autonomous is one of the best solutions that we have right now. And I would like to take you through the journey of data warehouse. What is it that businesses are facing as challenges today because of the huge volumes of data that they're collecting, either because of the customer data, the transactional data, decades of historical data, or the unstructured and semi-structured social media data that they're getting for each of your businesses, right? So if you notice in each of your projects or in each of your businesses, what are the main reasons that you come across data issues, right? Why do projects fail? It could be because of huge volumes of data that is not being maintained properly, maybe not proper data management, no proper data governance, poor data quality issues, maybe the scalability of the existing architecture is not fine because the architecture was not built in such a way earlier. There could be several reasons, right? So let us go through a couple of them and see where we face most issues, right? So managing data is crucial for business success, as we all know that. And the most important issues to fix when we have huge amount of data is performance issues. When the data that is flowing from your source systems to your data warehouse, data marts, or maybe if you don't have data marts or data warehouses to wherever your data is flowing from where you do your reporting, maybe that is not planned and architected properly, because of which there are performance issues. Reports might be taking several minutes and hours to refresh. And with autonomous and a lot of other data lake solutions, we can fix these performance issues where reports can be refreshed in few seconds. And then access to data is one more main issue that we see in many domains, whether it is BFSI, healthcare, it could be HR, it could be so many domains. Right? The reason is because the accesses, privileges, security levels are not defined properly. And even if they are defined after couple of months and quarters, the projects don't take care of data governance pretty well, right? So all this has to be automated, and autonomous data warehouse gives that flexibility for automating all these. There are inbuilt features in autonomous data warehouse which automate all these issues, and they're taken care by the Oracle system itself. And then automatically the data quality issues, whether it is formatting, the data type, the quality issues that come from source. Once we write the rules, the rule engines are set, then they have to run continuously without any issues for the next many years. So that is what is done by autonomous. So the challenges that are usually there that have to be resolved by moving data warehouse to a cloud. So why do customers think about moving from on-prem to cloud, or from their current systems to a regular data lake and data warehouse? Is because they want simplified deployment and migration. They want simplified reporting capabilities, self-service BI, to have a big data enabled so that the systems can be scalable, large volumes of data can be captured, and they can be reporting and analytics that can be done on top of their data, right? It could be historical data, it could be transactional, it could be real-time data, but all this data has to be captured and made use of. And then of course, to reduce cost and to have risk mitigation plan for failovers, for failures, for patches that have to be put in place. And then finally, for reliability and to accelerate analytics and data insights. So like Ravi was mentioning earlier when we had the BI data warehousing projects, it was about having operational data reporting on top of the transactional issues, right? Like whether you're getting the customer data on time, sales reports on time, maybe procurement, purchase orders, whatever details. But now with advanced analytics, we went into actionable insights and advanced analytic driven models, where it gives further insights into your data using your historical or existing data, saying, okay, so this is the threshold that you're meeting. Now it's going beyond that. So maybe there has to be a check put in place. And then finally, we have come to L3 or level 3, where we are talking about data monetization. That is about how existing data can be used to build models, to give better decision-making inputs to managers, to the decision makers of the organization. So for all this, autonomous is a good solution. Although there are other products in the market, but autonomous has this entire inbuilt capability where it takes care of the administration, security to the AI, ML, and analytics part of the data warehouse and reporting. So the common customer use cases that we see are when customers are moving from on-prem to cloud, when there are migration possibilities, or maybe when there are mergers and acquisitions. These are all possible scenarios where we can talk about autonomous and suggest that this is the best time for customers to move from their existing landscape onto autonomous. So whether it is consolidation of their data marts, or whether it is integration of new data sources through maybe new businesses that are being integrated with existing ones. And also when we have to fix performance issues, or if there is new structured or semi-structured data that is coming in, that is one more reason when we can go autonomous. And if there are more analytical applications that a business needs. So these are all common use cases to have autonomous work done on top of existing landscapes that teams have. Any questions so far, or can I move forward, please? Okay. So automating data warehouse automatically brings a great deal of expectations into businesses. And with high expectations comes the sense of caution. And Sunera has done several such projects, whether it is on-prem, cloud, or Oracle or non-Oracle BI projects. So we do compare, we do a lot of research, and we work on several approaches before we finally give options to our customers. So over here, we see that Oracle Cloud capabilities, whether it is IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, or BPaaS, there are several projects that run, right? But today we are concentrating on the autonomous database and data warehouse and analytics, which also include cloud security. So any of, sorry, I'm not sure if I'm audible to you people because I don't hear. Hello?
Yes, you're on, Padma.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Keep going.
Okay. So the benefits of moving to autonomous data warehouse mainly are to have better analytical capabilities, to reduce cost, because there is very little scope for a DBA to do anything there, because there is this autonomous database which enables faster development in terms of having simple and faster time to market for new applications by eliminating the dependency and delays on other servers, whether it is storage or databases. We can eliminate database tuning by having auto adapts to the changing workloads. Similarly, we can provide advanced SQL and PLSQL capabilities to accelerate developer productivity. So what this means is developers can develop applications at a much quicker pace because they work closely with the architects, and where they have certain data models that are pre-built models which can be reused, and that reduces the cost of the project, as well as there is a rich open ecosystem that autonomous enables. That is, we can use Node.js, Python, Perl, Apex, Docker. So these are the options that Oracle is giving, which were not there earlier, right? And then, of course, advanced analytics and AI, ML capabilities and functions, because there are pre-built models that can be reused, and this improves the performance of the overall project. We can manipulate data at the source level itself. So these are all reasons why projects can be delivered at a much quicker pace than what they were being done earlier. So that is the reason I say cost can be reduced. And then also autonomous enables higher SLAs for support and maintenance and production support project, because we don't need dedicated DBAs. Instead, the autonomous data warehouse itself does security checks, performance checks. It helps the system to be more scalable, and it's available 99.95%. It's on all the time. So any patches that have to be applied or any system refreshes that have to happen, it'll automatically take care of it by itself. So we don't need to pull the system down and then do a patch. Then the other one is security, where the network security and threat detection is done by autonomous. And there is basically a very strong platform that is being built for it, because of which there are strict administrative controls. There is data encryption, a default data encryption that is done. And there is identification of assets, whether it is the database or auditing or compliance strategies. So all these have to be checked before we get into the autonomous, and then it keeps running by its own. The other reason why people are moving to autonomous is because they can preserve their existing investment in terms, they don't have to spend a lot on new licenses, because Oracle bundles it up together if they are on Oracle stack already, right? And it is very much comparable with other products, whether it is Redshift or Azure, because some of the salient features from those products have been incorporated in Oracle, or maybe even better features right now. And because of all this, it helps in data mining and analysis. And there are many capabilities and features that have been included in terms of ML and NLP. So what that means is that customers who want simple and faster reports, they can achieve it, because the time to insight in their business reduces drastically. Instead of getting reports from source and ETL and reports, then running them and trying to figure out how to derive value out of it, instead of going through that entire bit, we can just use certain features of autonomous, which will help, with the help of the data models, the analytical models, the data science models, help to figure out the patterns, and the categorization can be done much quicker, and that way we get better insights. And then data can be captured into autonomous from several sources, whether it is just spreadsheets, documents, unstructured data. It could be any data mart, data warehouse, from enterprise applications or cloud data sources. So what this means is that it can be plugged into most of the existing source systems pretty easily, and data can be retrieved from there. And on top of all this, we can have the reporting dashboards, business analytics, and data science inputs being generated from time to time. Another thing is that we can have real-time analytics. Maybe not all businesses really need real-time analytics, and that is something we can have data mart by data mart. That is, certain businesses might have data that comes in once a day or once in a week. That can be done, and there might be another application where data comes in every 4 hours or 2 hours, or maybe even every 15 minutes. So that can also be incorporated. Any questions so far?
Yeah, most people are muted, Padma. I've asked them to post a question if they have one, and I'll share those with you as and when they come in, and then we'll open up the lines at the end.
Okay, sure. So this is this particular slide, we're trying to say that we as Sunera have done several projects on cloud, and we've noticed a cost reduction of 50% in most cases. And this is done because we have a comprehensive cloud business case, which we leverage in a domain-specific manner because of the KPIs that we have already captured for several industries, be it manufacturing or telco or banking, retail, right? And also because of the Oracle Cloud, Oracle Apps modules, which where we reuse some of our frameworks. And We have several case studies to show. So depending on which customer you want to reach out to or which domain we want to showcase, we have several case studies, and we can share that maybe in the next call. But let us know if you have a specific use case or a case study or a domain specific issue that you're looking for. Okay, so how we approach customers and say that autonomous is the way to go is we have categorized or bucketed these use case scenarios into 3 buckets. So the first part is when a particular data warehouse has to be modernized from OBIE to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And when the trade Oracle data, we have to trade Oracle database with autonomous database. That is a very good scenario where we can bring in autonomous. So the complete infrastructure automation can be done, and all OBI versions are compatible for lift and shift to OCI in this case. And the ADB is compatible with OBI 12.2.1.4 and higher versions as well. There is zero risk in lift and shift from OBIE to OCI. There is 45% reduction in the infrastructure cost. And yeah, the licenses, I've spoken about it earlier because it's a full stack from Oracle, so the license cost comes down. And going with Sunera, because of a platinum partnership, we can negotiate for better licensing cost for you. And overall, there'll be a 20% improvement in the application performance because of autonomous being implemented, right? So basically, we are saying that there's going to be an increased performance and security at a much lower cost than what projects are going through right now. So the second use case scenario where autonomous can be proposed is when there's a complete infrastructure automation plus complete database automation along with the automated data warehouse with machine learning. So when people want to move from on-prem to cloud, that's a good use case. So the same points that I spoke about earlier, all of them would be covered here. And of course, the data quality issues will be eliminated. And the third scenario is when we want to implement better data warehouse because of the Oracle Analytics Cloud. So this is OACS, Oracle Analytics Cloud Services, which is another module within on top of the Oracle data warehouse that can be provided, because of which we can have near real-time reports and more intelligent reports, as well as better patterns, data patterns for machine learning and AI projects. And the rest of it continues, whether it is lesser time for migration, whether it is better administration and maintenance of data. Yeah, this particular slide, I think I've already covered speaking about it, about how the data journey has changed from operational reporting to actionable insights to data monetization, how data is being used better day by day to generate more insights, that way increasing the revenue for businesses. Maybe Fal, you can open up participants to ask questions.
Yeah, okay, great. Let me see here. If anybody has any questions, they can post them on the Zoom chat webinar. And maybe you can go back, Padma, to the various scenarios. Yeah, path 1, path 2, path 3. I think that's interesting in terms of the directions people want to go. And I'm going to unmute all.
Yeah, and just a minute, I also have another one of the slides that I wanted to.
Okay, so all participants were all participants are muted. Let me see if I could unmute. Without participants unmute themselves, plan to contacted. You know, I'm not really sure about the unmuting everyone. If People can they try to, Amit, do you know if people can mute themselves or what kind of instructions we can give them? Are you aware?
Well, everybody's unmuted.
Okay, all right. So if anyone has any questions, they could, let's see if you can speak. Let's see if we can hear you, or you could raise your hand, and I could actually allow you to talk here. So let me actually see. I can't just do a batch unmuting. So if anybody has any questions, they could raise their hand, or put in the chat window that you have a question, and then I'll unmute you. All right, so as we wait for some questions, things sink in. Padma, do you want to talk about these features that you've just brought up in the window here?
Sure. These are the features given by Autonomous. So the high performance queries and concurrent workloads help in improving performance and running your ETL and ODI better. And then whether it is Oracle SQL business analytics tools that are supported better, and the autonomous features of having patch and updates and backups without any DBA support by the database itself. And then cloud-based data loading, where we have fast and scalable data loading from Oracle Object Store. And then elasticity and scalability are all inbuilt features. Plus there is web-based tools, browsers that are available, and database migration is much quicker. And finally, security is an inbuilt feature in Autonomous. So I've covered this earlier, but just wanted to once again highlight these features that are provided by Autonomous.
Okay, great. I think we have one question. Let me allow to talk here. Go ahead, Rahul. Do you want to say something? Okay, you're unmuted. Oh. Okay, are you able to say anything, Rahul? Unmute. I think you have to unmute yourself, Rahul. Can you unmute yourself and you're allowed to talk? No, because it says you're unmuted. Okay. So we can't hear you, Rahul. Sorry about that.
Maybe if he can type in his question and you can read it out, maybe.
Yeah, just typing a question. Yeah. So let's go. One of the things that Synera is offering here at Padma is 100 hours of free cloud consulting credits. And what that can be used for is any number of use cases, whether it's training or a kind of a small lift and shift or any other type of kind of cloud-based activity. And one of the things that we're recommending to our customers is if you're really interested in Autonomous, you could maybe take a kind of small data set, maybe a subset of your current database, and then use our cloud consulting credits to help, and we will migrate that to an Autonomous database environment and do a kind of proof of concept and run some reports and show you how to function. Can you explain the benefits of that type of approach, how people would go about it, and what they can learn from that experience?
Sure. So you rightly said that, Val. So we are already doing a lot of POCs and pilots for a couple of our customers who are interested or who would want to understand how their data would look using Autonomous, or what reports can be generated or how data can be shown. So what we do is, if it's a POC, then we just ask for some sample data. We use our Oracle IDs to create the system to load data, that sample data, and then do the migration to Autonomous. And finally, we set up the analytical cloud service on top of it and generate the analytical reports. Okay. So what that means is they can see how the data journey happens and what results are finally brought out of it. And also it helps them understand how much time it would take and the cost, not the cost reduction right there, but the effort, the reduction in effort that it would take. So that is what we usually try to show. And if customers can give actual data, a subset of their data from existing modules, then we do a pilot. So it's free of cost because we don't have to pay for the licenses because of the credits we have for certain hours. And we can also do it for an entire module if the module is small. So we have to scope it out, and we will let them know if it takes just a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, depending on the complexity of the data.
Right.
So it's very
right.
simple. Sometimes we have done POCs in just 3 days and shown results to customers, and for others it took us a week or 10 days. So
Yeah, and then once they do the POC and the customer is able to kind of see it, maybe they've developed a business case where they kind of convince management that this is worth funding, that can easily be taken live, right? With just a little
Right.
bit of additional work. So the 100 hours they get are pretty much kind of credited, and then when they go live, it'll be much cheaper from a implementation standpoint.
Not just that, we can use these credits even for training and certification. So we can train our customers, get them trained, whether it is in sales modules or as a developer or even just as a user. So they can be hands-on and autonomous just as much as we are.
Yep. We have a question posted from Narendra. His question is how to migrate existing OBI ETL, which uses EBS as a database, to Oracle Cloud, either Autonomous Database or Autonomous Data Warehouse. So OBI ETL using EBS, how does a migration happen?
Okay, so the OBI ODI features are all within Autonomous right now. So we are not saying that OBI and ODI would totally go away, but those features are incorporated into Autonomous along with the analytical features and the DBA features that I use, the administrative features. So it's just a better version of using your ETL and ODI and analytical capabilities.
Okay, Narendra, does that answer your question? Do you have a follow-up? So in terms of the options that you showed, was that one of the options in terms of the paths, or is that a special case that Narendra just asked about?
No, it's not a special case. It is one of the tasks. I just showed that to you. So it is just a lift and shift from OBI to OCI using Autonomous.
So if anybody has OBIE currently, this would be a good, kind of low-hanging fruit, if you will, to kind of to go. And this can be done with 100 hours of free cloud consulting credit as a POC?
Yes, it can be done. Yes.
Okay. So if people are interested in this, they could contact us at info@soneratech.com or sales@soneratech.com, or go to our website and get into contact with us. These POCs are a great way to kind of show the power of the database and then also basically how it would fit into your environment. One of the challenges people have that Ravi talked about earlier is this exploding data in terms of volume of data, as well as a number of integration points. Can you explain how those two become bottlenecks to kind of growing the enterprise and how Autonomous addresses those?
Can you please repeat your question? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Yes. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So I was saying that one of the things that Ravi mentioned, mentioned about the two trends in data that's causing these kind of bottlenecks. One trend is the explosion of data and the size of data databases, and then the second is a number of sources that data is coming from that needs to be integrated, and both of these are proving to be bottlenecks in efficient creation of reports. How does Autonomous address each of those kind of bottlenecks, and why is it a kind of a better approach to addressing and overcoming these bottlenecks?
Sure. So to address those issues is why we have data lakes. So huge volumes of data, whether it is terabytes or petabytes of data, whether it is semi-structured, unstructured, or structured data that is coming from several sources, as well as data that is being captured, but many of businesses do not know what to do with that amount of data, right? So all this is becoming a huge issue. And what we mean by data lake is that is where you store all your raw data. You don't change it at the data lake level, but instead start reporting and see if there can be any meaningful inputs that can be generated out of it. And then data is extracted, certain conditions and filters and business rules are applied, and that data is moved to a data warehouse on top of which your regular operational reports or analytical reports are run. So what this means is vast amount of data that is captured can still be used for data monetization to see what inputs can be generated out of all these petabytes of data that we are capturing unknowingly, actually. Maybe most of the time maybe just customer information or sales information that is being captured for some other reason can be put to very good use for other areas of business growth or revenue generation. So but to get there, we need to first of all handle data in a much better way, that is manage it and govern it and put it in a proper structure in a better way. And that is where the Oracle Data Lake would come into picture, and Autonomous has that. And similarly, other products also have, whether it is Azure Data Lake or AWS, but then in Autonomous, the advantage is it's an end-to-end structure from data lake to analytics to AI ML. And then I saw a question from one gentleman asking me about the AI ML features in Autonomous.
I might have made that disappear by answering him. Yes, so can you talk about that, the artificial intelligence and machine learning capability?
Right. So the advantage of Autonomous is that all these inbuilt algorithms and data models of machine learning, AI, and NLP are already incorporated into it. Whereas if we go to other products, we'll have to either buy them separately or go for some other open stack where we need to use them. And then we might or might not have the support from such open source tools, right? Whereas with Oracle, they would support us, they would help us out with these models because they own them and they're licensing it out to us, right? So that is the advantage.
Okay, great. We hear about AI, being built into every aspects of technology and everything. You talked about how AI is built into here. How is AI being built into other applications that integrate with Autonomous, help improve the performance of data, either the sources sending data or things like taking output from these databases? Is AI in different types of application as important as AI within this database itself? Important?
Yes. So it helps with automating as well as keeping the system clean and better, not just internally for the databases, but even the reporting data that we get, right? So what is happening is AI tells the system that, see, in the last few quarters or years, this is when it was failing because of so-and-so reason. So all those, the system automatically learns and tries to repair itself. And that is where AI plays a role. So instead of the system failing, it repairs by itself because of the intelligence it has already gathered, and it's informing the autonomous system that this is when there might be a failure. This is when you might need a patch. This is when you might need an upgrade, and it'll automatically take care. And other than that, there are several other use case scenarios for AI, and that I think we need to have a separate session, actually, not combine it here.
Okay, great. All right, anybody else have any other questions? We're coming to the close. Okay, doesn't seem like we have other questions at this point. So Padma, do you want to kind of wrap it up? Okay, great. All right, thanks everyone for attending. Really appreciate all of your attendance and questions and discussion points. So we are Soneratech. We are a born in the cloud company, as I mentioned. Let me kind of see if there's a way to get information over here and show to our contact information. I don't know if that was put into this deck here. Yeah, I guess we're there. And so anybody has any questions, they could contact us by emailing us or visiting our website. And as I said, we have 100 free cloud consulting credits to help you develop a POC or a proof of concept that be able to see how autonomous would work in your environment. If you have an OBIEE and are interested in seeing how you can take advantage of the power of autonomous, or if you have multiple data sources that you're feeling that your data process is being choked, or your output is being created that's so big, like from say in Tableau or something like that, that it's difficult for you to ingest it into Excel to do any kind of analysis. Autonomous could really help in those types of situations. So thanks again for everyone for joining. We hope you found this informative. We will be sending out a replay of this to you, and you'll be able to kind of share the information as well. Once again, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. Bye.